So we had the pleasure of having Mayor Paul TenHaken on our podcast, Move to Sioux Falls. And this is just the first ever podcast, and it's about why people are moving here, why they're visiting, why they're experiencing Sioux Falls, and just how awesome it is. So we wanted to just capture that all in one. And Mayor Paul was the first one to talk about why he's in Sioux Falls, why it's growing. So it was just awesome to have a father, a husband, a follower of Christ, the mayor. So if you'd like to know more about Move to Sioux Falls, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment on what you want to learn about. So what is your favorite spot in Sioux Falls?
My favorite spot in Sioux Falls would honestly be my house, first and foremost. But if I'm out of my house, you'll find me on the bike trails.
Okay. So next is, what's your favorite restaurant in Sioux Falls?
It's very hard for the mayor to call out a single restaurant because I get in trouble when I pick one over the other. But if you held a gun to my head, so you have to pick one.
Okay.
I love Oshima Sushi downtown.
Oh, okay.
That place is great. The service is great. They're such great people.
Okay.
So, and I'm downtown a lot, so I eat lunch down there a lot.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Favorite ice cream flavor would be Rocky Road.
Okay. And just a quick follow-up question. Best ice cream place in town?
Well, my son works at B&G Milky Way.
Oh.
So I'm going to give him some props because he's employed there. So.
Okay. What is your favorite season? Fall, winter, spring, summer?
My favorite season would be football season because the Vikes are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I'm not a huge Vikings fan.
J.J. McCarthy, let's
there we go. Okay.
And the summer, and I love summer.
Okay, summer. Who do you text the most?
The person I text the most, you would think it'd be my wife. It's probably my chief of staff.
Okay.
And my wife never texts me back, so I just have kind of given up on texting
Okay.
her. So my chief of staff, Eric.
Okay, good. I was figuring one of those two people.
Yeah.
So. And then the last question here, just to kind of get done HitFire questions, is what genre of music do you listen to the most?
Definitely alternative rock.
Okay. Cool.
Foo Fighters specifically. You'll always find Foo Fighters on my
Learn to Fly
playlist.
is one of my
It's the best.
all time. So.
Seen them many times at concert. All rock's the best.
Okay. Are we ready? We're good? Okay, cool. Well, we have Mayor Paul TenHaken on, and I am just thrilled to have him on the Move to Sioux Falls podcast YouTube channel. We're kicking it off.
Yeah, man.
Just telling people why Sioux Falls is awesome, why people travel here, why they move here. My wife and I run a short-term rental business, Sodax Days. I run the Move to Sioux Falls real estate business, but real estate's not just about real estate. It's beyond the sale of all of that. So we're just trying to tell people in the community, outside of our community, why Sioux Falls is awesome. So we're glad to have you on.
Yeah, man. Glad to be on.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself. And just have a conversation.
Well, I love the podcast. I love the idea behind it. Realtors are the gateway to our community. I mean, anybody's looking to move to the community, probably one of the first physical interactions they'll have is with a realtor. So realtors understanding our community and what makes it tick is very important. So I moved to Sioux Falls 24 years ago, 2000, graduated from Dordt University in Sioux Center, Iowa.
Heck yeah.
I know that's your alma mater too. I was Dordt College back then. Grew up in Minnesota, college in Sioux Center, moved here in 2000. And so I was in marketing roles for really the first 8-9 years of my career. Worked in different capacities at Sanford Health. It was Sioux Valley then when I actually started, and it became Sanford Health. And started my own business in 2008, a marketing company that I ran for the next 10 years until 2018. And then around 2016, the last couple of years of my business, just got kind of an urge to give back to the community. Didn't know what that was going to look like. Yeah. And just felt called to run for office and got hit upside the head or must have fell out of bed one morning and I ran and got elected in 2018. Okay. And so I'm 6 years into this, got 2 years left on my last term. It's a term limited job. So 2 more years in 2026, we'll elect a new mayor of this great city.
Is it June?
It's in April of 26.
Okay. I know they changed some stuff. So less than 2 years now. So, because we have an election coming up. Yeah,
we have an election coming up
tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow. Yeah. Depending when people are listening to this, it'll be over. But our election is tomorrow.
For sure.
Primaries are tomorrow. Yeah.
Cool. So one of the big questions I want to hit on is why you chose Sioux Falls as the community. So it's like, hey, 24 years ago, you might be graduating college and you're like, I'm going to Sioux Falls. Like, was there like a huge like light bulb moment? Like your spouse was like,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of was going through your
Well,
brain?
what I see, it still happens today, is a lot of people, a lot of our growth in Sioux Falls is happening from one of two places. The one pool is people who maybe live in the region. They live in South
Mm-hmm.
Dakota or Minnesota or Iowa, and they want a more urban kind of center to live in,
Mm-hmm.
but they still like the Midwest. They still maybe want to be close to family. And so Sioux Falls offers a lot of large city amenities, but still lets them drive down to Iowa
For
to see their
sure.
family on the weekends if they'd want to. So that was me in 2000. I wanted to be close to my family, but I loved the big city that Sioux Falls was then, and my wife did too. So that's why we landed here. The other pool that you see those is literally people that are moving here from a long ways away.
Mm-hmm.
Making career decisions, family decisions to come here, and they're picking Sioux Falls not to the proximity of family and so forth, but for the things that we all have gotten as a bonus, which is good quality of life, low cost of living,
Mm-hmm.
good amenities, great schools. I mean, low crime, the stuff that has just made the community really sing. And it's why we're growing so quickly. I
That,
mentioned
yeah,
2018 when I took an office.
yeah.
We've grown by in Aberdeen since I took office. So
Jeez, that's like,
Aberdeen's the third largest city
yeah.
in the state. Yeah.
I was thinking, how many people they got now? Do you remember?
Aberdeen?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about
20,
25 to
yeah.
30,000, and
Okay.
we're growing by 5 to 6 a year on
Yeah.
average. So
That's awesome. COVID
it's
was a little bit higher, right? During
yeah,
that?
21 was our biggest growth. We saw a
Yeah.
lot of people move here because of the pandemic. They wanted
Hmm.
their kids to be in schools and
Yep.
things. Some schools were closed across the
For
country, and
sure.
there was a lot of just I'll call them political refugees. And sorry, we got to talk a little politics with a mayor
I
on,
mean,
but
yeah, it's the mayor.
there are people who just they kind of were upset with how their city governments, state governments were handling pandemic
For sure.
restrictions, all that stuff. And for the most part, our community, our city, state was pretty restriction light. And I think there's people who liked that and
Yeah,
and came here as a result.
for sure. You kind of led into the next question of like why Sioux Falls is growing. Maybe hit on a topic of like the number one thing you think why Sioux Falls is growing so much.
It would be hard for me to say the number one
Okay.
thing. I will tell you though that one thing that we do not talk a lot about, but it's very, very important, is we have no state income tax. And Florida has no state income tax. Texas has no state income tax. And the further you get in your career, and especially as you look at retirement, starting to draw funds out of those Roths and things
Mm-hmm.
that are taxable, not having a state income tax can save you a lot of cheddar.
For sure.
And so that's attractive to people. That brings a lot of businesses here too, because we have no corporate income tax.
For
So our
sure.
tax structure is very favorable. So I think that's part of it. But I will say two things that I think we have that are absolutely incredible is we have such great schools here. We have a great, great school
Mm.
system. And there's 7 school districts within the city of Sioux Falls city limits. So a lot of people don't realize that. We have T, and we have Harrisburg, and we have Brandon, we have Sioux Falls, we have Sioux Falls, and we have West Central, and we have all these schools that you can live in the city of Sioux Falls in
And
one of
go
7
to, yeah.
districts. Great schools. The second thing is this is a very safe community.
Mm-hmm.
Our crime is low. Now, some people may not think that, because they oh, crime's out of control. We've had all these people.
Mm.
The per capita crime here is very, very low. And especially when I compare it to peer cities that, other mayoral colleagues that
For
I'm
sure.
friends with,
Yeah.
and I look at the crime challenges they're struggling with, and our crime's very manageable. I think as a family, when you're thinking about kids and families moving to a community, they want to know they're moving to a safe
Yeah.
community.
For sure. I with my realtor license, I can't really talk about crime too much, but I can tell you, I can just let my kids who are 3 and 1 just kind of roam down the street, and it's all gonna be okay.
It's still a safe community.
For
There's
sure.
there's crime. I mean, when you add 5, 6,000
For
people a
sure.
year, they're not all church boys,
For
So
sure. Yeah.
so you get some bad actors that come here, and we have a great police department, and we have great community-based watch programs and community-based policing.
Yeah.
So safe city.
And I think you hit like a point of no state income tax. Like that feels like very um like boring to talk about, right?
Mhm.
Like, and it kind of fires me up. Like my best friend is an accountant, and he's like, "Oh, this is what you save in taxes," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't really care." And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Oh, I care about like my financial well-being to provide for a family. So it's like, you know, if I could tell younger people what to get fired up about, I would say
Mhm.
like look into taxes and talking to accountants a little bit more than just like,
Well, I'll tell you this.
so.
I mean, young people, and I'll specifically address young people and who are listening to this right now.
Do I count as that? I'm 30.
Well, ish. Yeah, you're
Okay.
so young.
Okay.
But the young people, they see the allure of Nashville or Manhattan or Vegas or whatever. I was just in New York 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
and I was talking. I was in a meeting with someone, and they were talking about their taxes, and they have a state income tax, obviously. Then they have a city income tax, so the city also taxes your income. They just implemented a congestion tax, which means it's $15 a day to drive your car into the city.
Mm.
That's on top of the $20 she paid every day on tolls. So she paid $20 in tolls, $15 on the congestion tax, $35 a day just to get her car into the city. Then she has to park, and it's $25 a day to park. So think about
Jeez.
that. She's dropping $60 a day just to get her butt to work in her vehicle. And then she's paying city income tax, and then she's paying state income tax, and then she's paying a sales tax that's 2 pennies higher than ours. So like, it's alluring. It's fun to think about living in the big city, but
Yeah.
you got to really be making some good coin for that all to pan out financially for you. So you just keep a lot more of your money in a state like South Dakota.
Yeah. My sister-in-law is in New York City, and I could tell you stories like forever, but we don't have that much time, right?
Yeah.
I know you got a cutoff to be.
Yeah.
I know you're a busy guy. So, one of my last questions is if budget wasn't an issue, what would be the top 3 things you would add to make Sioux Falls even better than today? I know that's
a
tough
great question. If budget wasn't an issue, the first thing I would do, and we're trying to do this, is we need a bigger, more modern, downtown-based convention facility.
Mm,
Okay, when people come to our community for conventions,
yeah,
they want to be in our downtown,
for sure.
and we need that. Convention centers are very expensive to build,
Hmm.
so that would be one thing. Second thing, if budget was not an issue, I would make sure we had some of the most fantastic parks in every single neighborhood. And we have great parks already.
Yeah, and we're
But
adding in a lot of good ones.
We're adding a lot
Yeah.
of parks, but I love parks. And parks are such a critical part to, you know, kids having things to do year round, and some even indoor play at some of those
Mhm.
parks, more indoor structures that you
Yeah.
could go in during the winter, because winters are long here.
Yeah.
So having more indoor play activities in our park system would be something that I'd be.
We got lucky
looking at.
last season, I feel like, with the snow.
Yes.
Yeah, there was less snow.
Yes.
So maybe like a winterized park with some heaters or something. You'd still be outside
exactly.
or something like that.
I
Yeah.
tell you, people say this, like, our best natural resource in South Dakota is our winter. So
Mhm.
we can either avoid it and
Yeah.
stay inside, or we can figure out how to monetize and say, hey, winter's part of who we are. Minnesota does that. They have
Mhm.
ice fests and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, we got to figure out how to take advantage of the winter. So that's 2 things. The third thing, if money was not an object, I would want to make sure, and this is selfish, that our city employees were just really compensated at a rate that matches the private sector.
Yeah.
Being a cop is one of the hardest jobs in the
Mhm.
world, and we can only pay them so much. And I'd love to pay them the world
For
because
sure.
they have very challenging jobs. So I'd love for budget not to be an issue when compensating
For
my
sure.
city staff, because they're awesome people.
That's like my mom and sister are educators, and you're like, why
Same
can't we
deal.
pay those educators? They're training the next generation. If they went into the private sector, I kind of floated an idea to someone, was like, hey, what if like 1% of every person from the private sector had to pay their public sector like extra to
Mm.
just like pay more for those
Mm.
positions?
Mm.
It was an idea. My wife shot it down, but
Well, the thing with that goes back to our earlier discussion. I want all these things, and we can do that.
For
We can
sure.
raise your taxes a little bit,
Mhm.
raise property tax. We could have a state income tax. We could have a city income tax. So when people go to Chicago and they come back and they say, God, they got a great bus system. I'm like, yeah, it's 9% sales tax there and a state income tax. And
yeah,
so that's how they're paying for that. So
For
we can have a great bus system too.
yeah.
if
It
you
just
want,
takes some
if you want to
cheddar.
pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, true, cool. Well, I know I said about 10 to 15 minutes, so
It's great, man.
we wanted to just send you off with something. We're not going to do this every episode, but we just appreciate you as our mayor. So I got a little gift for you just
Oh,
to
I
say,
love
like,
it.
thank you so much for being on.
Is it less than $50?
No, but that's okay. You'll appreciate it
I
way
have to report it.
more. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna get it here. I know you like these, so
Oh my gosh. You're getting some J's? Look at this.
so we got Air Jordans in the Sioux Falls colors. So he's always reminded that he is the mayor of Sioux
Oh
Falls
my
forever.
gosh, dude, this is so nice.
Yeah.
Wow. See these puppies? You won't be missed in these either. Yeah, Sioux Falls colors. Albert,
Yeah.
that's awesome, buddy. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Size 11, right?
Size 11.
Okay.
How did you know that?
I remember one of our mentor meetings. You were like, if anyone, like were to get me something, you should just get Jordans. I'm size 11. So,
Oh, that's so cool,
Yeah.
buddy. Thank
so
you.
there you guys have it. Mayor Paul, what do you got going on here in the next few days? Most important thing, and then we'll end the show.
The most important thing in the next few days, let's see, we have a city council meeting coming up we got some big things on the horizon. We got a big $30 to $40 million development on Minnesota Avenue that if it happens, it has the potential to transform Minnesota Avenue.
Awesome.
Minnesota Avenue is a little tired
For sure.
We haven't seen a lot of investment along Minnesota Avenue. So I'm really jacked and excited about that. So cross your fingers that rezone gets passed. And so I know that's nerdy. That's the kind of stuff I think about.
Hey, there you go. Cool.
Yeah.
Mayor Paul, thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. We're good.
Dude, what is this? You didn't have to do that.
Hey, you didn't give me the giftology book, so I wasn't sure when to do it. So, all right, this is going to be the time.